Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the OUMASHI Deep Dive. Let's start off the wrist check. I'm wearing a Marathon OSAR-D, which is on loan from Marathon. It must be returned after I review it. And Grog is wearing a Tsukime 2433. Grogler said he still hasn't been able to buy a copy of Trailer Sith's new album, Strife of a Snow Squirrel, because Trailer Sith is still not gaining weight to make more midichlorians to use for encryption keys, despite fans who want the album sending her crates full of Blue Bantha ice cream bars. He said fans already bought the album or are sending her syringes of Ozempic, so it's evening out. Alright, let's take a look at the watch. It doesn't come in much of a box, but once you lift the box and feel how heavy it is, then you know that the watch is substantial. And here it is. All it came with was a pillow, and these are the extra links for it. So that's a nice looking watch. Looks like I knocked the bezel out of place. And unfortunately that's going to happen quite a bit because the bezel action is just a little bit light. But no, that's a very nice looking watch, and it's really heavy. This is the second OUMASHI on my channel and the third attempt to purchase this particular model, as the other two were canceled on me for unknown reasons. This OUMASHI has no reference number that I can find, so I've just been calling it a deep dive, as that is what is printed on the dial. This is an homage to the Rolex Deep Sea, which until very recently has the most water resistance of any commercially available watch at 3,900 meters. This OUMASHI Deep Dive claims 3,600 meters on the dial, but that value can be ignored as it also says chronometer, which is not possible due to its NH35 movement. This watch is currently going for $135 on AliExpress at the time of this review. This watch comes in 4 different variations. I chose the James Cameron colorway, which is a blue dial on top that slowly fades into black, which represents the fading of light when one dives deep. If that gradient color is just too much fun, you can get a black dial instead. You can get both colorways in a sterile version that not only omits the logo, it also omits the 5 lines of text on the bottom. The watch is 43 millimeters if you measure at the bezel, 52.8 millimeters lug to lug with protruding end links. It's a whopping 17.2 millimeters thick, including this dome crystal. Has a 21 millimeter lug width, which tapers down to 16 at the clasp, and weighs 203 grams on the supplied solid steel bracelet with 3 links removed. The bezel is a ceramic 80 click unidirectional. Yes, you heard that right, 80 clicks. I've had all kinds of watches with 120 click, 90 click, and 60 click, but I'm pretty sure this is my first watch with 80 clicks. But I did count them. Then we have the dial. It says OUMASHI Professional Date up top. And on the bottom it says, let me get these hands out of the way. On the bottom it says deep dive sea diving, and then it says 12,600 feet, 3,600 meters. Well, I don't think that's true. This is a $130 watch. You're not going to get 3,600 meters from a $130 watch. So I think that's a fib. And to back up the fact that it's a fib, it says professional chronometer. And we know that's a fib because it's an NH35. And you can't rate an NH35 as a chronometer because, first of all, it's not Swiss made. And if you try to submit an NH35 to the chronometer committee, they're just going to laugh at you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with an NH35. It's just not a chronometer movement. Then we have the dial. Dial is blue up top, black on the bottom. It's supposed to represent deep diving. When you look up at the ocean, the sea gets dark as deeper you go, and then the sky gets a little bit darker too. Then we have the indices. We have an upside down triangle at the 12, batons at the 6 and the 9, and dots everywhere else. And then we have the hands. We have the fence post minute hand, Mercedes hour hand, lollipop second hand. Then we have a date at the 3 with a border and no cyclops. And this thing's thick enough without needing a Cyclops on it. Then we have a screw down unsigned crown. And I like the crown. Crown's big enough that you can use it with these big old crown guards without much difficulty. And it pops nicely when you unscrew it. Then when you go to screw it back down, it catches right away. You don't feel like you're going to strip it. And once again, these crown guards don't get in the way because the crown's big enough. And then we have the crystal. The crystal is a single dome sapphire crystal. So you can tell it's single dome because of all that distortion. And if there's AR coating, it's not doing a very good job. There's tons of reflection on this watch. So I don't think it has AR coating. Plus, it has some clarity issues. You can't really tell now, but you have to clean it all the time because if it's not perfectly clean, it's kind of going to be difficult to see through. And then we have the case, polished on the sides, brushed up top. And as you can see, we have a helium escape valve. I don't know if it's a real working valve or not, because I don't have the equipment to test it. And also, they claim 904L steel and not instead of 316. I don't know enough about 904L steel. It's not like I'm reviewing Rolexes all the time, so I can't tell if they're lying or not. Now, they did tell the truth about this sapphire crystal. So, not necessarily, they might not be lying about the 904. But I don't know. Then we have the case back. The case back's a coin edge. And it's really big. And in fact, it's so big that it's too big for any of the tools I have. And by probably about 3 millimeters or so. So I can't tell you how big it is. I can only kind of guess. I guess I can use my calipers. Just a minute. I think it's 36.5 millimeters. So the biggest one I have is 32.5. And there's no writing on it, so it's Rolex style. I don't know if the real Deep Sea has a coin edge case back this big or not. Obviously, I don't have a real Deep Sea to compare it to. Underneath the case back is the NH35 movement. This is a 24 joule 3 hertz movement that hand winds hacks, has a bidirectional rotor, and is fairly accurate right off the shelf. But we'll go ahead and put it on the time grapher and see how it's doing. Here it is on the time grapher, and as you can see, we're running about 8 to 10 seconds fast, which isn't too bad considering this is an NH35 and the tolerance is plus 25, so it's well within tolerance. And it's nice that it's running fast instead of slow. And I can't believe I have to explain this, but one of my viewers got really upset about this. I don't mean when you initially set it, but when the watch drifts and you need to adjust it with a fast movement, you can just hack it and just wait for time to catch up. With a slow movement, you actually have to move the hands. And we have just a little bit of beat error, not very much. But the amplitude's kind of low. I have the lift angle set to 53 degrees, which is proper for an NH35, but the amplitude is not very healthy. The bracelet is a 3-link oyster style, and it's fully brushed. Well, polished on the sides, but brushed up top. And then we have screw pin adjusters, not push pins. And as you can see, the heads are fairly big. But as you can also see, I don't have a lot to remove. I removed 3, and there's only 1 more to remove. But we do have a on-the-fly adjustable clasp. So yeah, you can remove 1 more link, and then you can bring it in a good ½ inch, no problem. So you could still wear this fairly much smaller. And this is that style of clasp where you pull it out here, then you can go back and forth. Then we have the clasp. This is your Rolex style, oyster style. And we do have an unsigned fold over. And we do have solid protruding end links. Here's the watch and my 7.5-inch wrist. That looks nice, but it's chunky. But once again, the watch's homaging is chunky. And I removed 3 links to fit on my wrist. So we're going to go ahead and give this to Joe Haynes seal of approval. And I'm wearing it a little tight, but this watch is very top heavy. So you're going to want to wear it tight. Here we are in the loom room, just wearing the watch for review purposes. I could tell it had loom, which means it is at least decent. So let's see if it's actually good. As we speed up the time, we see that the loom pip and indices are a blue BGW9 color, and the hands, including the second hand lollipop, are a green C3 color. Everything starts out pretty good, but unfortunately the green hands are fading much faster than the blue markers. The loom pip is doing especially well and the strongest thing on this watch. Too bad the minute hand doesn't keep up with the pip, and I could call this loom good instead of just decent. What I like about this watch, it looks really nice. It looks a lot like the watch it's homaging. It has really nice bezel action, really good clicks. The crown is big enough that it's easy to use with these substantial crown guards. And it does have an on-the-fly adjustable clasp. What are my gripes and groans? Silly claims on the bottom of the dial, such as 3,600 meters and chronometer. The watch is very top heavy, so you got to wear it tight. This coin edge case back is huge, and you probably don't own a tool that will open it. And this sapphire crystal does have some clarity issues. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. When it comes to a James Cameron homage on AliExpress, you're not going to get much better than this. Well, thank you for watching my review of the OUMASHI Deep Dive, and I'll be back with another review. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link, and I'll get a tiny commission, but those tiny commissions do add up, which is how I'm able to get some of the nicer watches on my channel. And I like to thank my Members Choice members. Last time I looked, there was 11 of you, and I still haven't sold the Members Choice watch. As soon as I sell it, I will put a vote up. Bye.